record this. So uh, the reason that we do these lunch and learns through CURCA is, so the CURCA stands for the Center for Undergraduate Research and Creative Activity, and it's a wonderful resource office for students. And one of the things that we're realizing is that, you know, students come onto our campus and maybe have been here for a while and don't realize some of the things that they can tap into to help with their applied experiences and prepare them for the next step. So that's an aspect of it, but we also want to provide, we want to connect you with faculty on campus who have expertise that I think that you would benefit from. So what I want to do is I want to just give you I'm going to share with you a PowerPoint on CURCA to give you a little bit of what we're all about. And then I'm going to let Tom Howard talk, because he's going to give you his student perspective in terms of, you know, what it's like to be a student and be involved in CURCA as a freshman and onward. But at any time, please stop and ask questions. It's fantastic to have Jennifer from the Career Center, because we try to work really closely together to support you. And then of course, Dr. Acevedo-Sosinski, not only as faculty members, but also CURCA Advisory Committee members. So I'm gonna start by sharing my screen. Sorry, it sounds like somebody decided to start mowing, so hopefully it's not a big distraction. Okay, so as you know, right now that the center is closed. It's virtual, so closed in that term, but we are, we're doing a lot of things virtually. We're continuing to provide student activities and resources throughout. And of course, at any time, if you need to reach out and talk to me, I'm more than happy to schedule a Zoom meeting with you. But I want to tell you a little bit about the center. So the center is an interesting part of the university. It's located on the second floor of the library, so it's central. And the intent of the center is to provide a space for students to come and collaborate. So students who normally wouldn't collaborate because of their disciplines are coming to learn from each other, to work with each other, and to also take part in applied experiences. So we like to think of the center as really a great place to train you for the future. And the future is really innovative and collaborative. So I love to use this picture, hopefully you can see this, of a wedding dress. But if you look really closely, it's made out of paper plates that are laser cut. And of course, you know, when we think about robotics and prosthetics, there's more to it than just the mechanical, technical aspect of it. There's also a lot of art involved in it and a lot of design. And same with things like, for example, drones. You know, we tend to think of drones as important for military uses, but it's used a lot for agricultural uses. The center in and of itself is very well connected. It's there to serve every single student, whether you're a freshman or you're doing your honors thesis in any discipline, whether it's art, science, political science, sociology, whatever it is that you're interested in, we're here to support you. And we do it through connecting with other services on campus, such as IT and library services. We provide funding opportunities throughout the year and during the summer to not only go and present your work at different conferences, but to also do research here at Westfield State. We also have opportunities for you to just connect through other funding opportunities as well. We work with alums and college partners, the administration to provide funding and to, you know, really push for that piece. We have students who go out into our community and do projects that involve, you know, real life issues. And of course, the faculty and staff are a really big part of who we are. And I think I failed to put in here the Career Center, which is an important partner. But if you were here today, this is what the center looks like. It's a beautiful space. That big screen is a liquid galaxy. It's like Google Maps. But what you'll notice is that there are a lot of tables and chairs and an auditorium-like feel to it. And this is intended for you to come. You can study there. You can work on your projects there. Classes come here to do their work. and everything is literally movable and mobile. It's really like an incubator space to provide you support. And my office is right here, so typically I would be there and happy to talk to any student that walks in the door. We try to host various fun activities too. We partner with the pet therapy group, and so during the winter we have student cafe and pet therapy to kind of make you feel good throughout. But we have some major events that we really are proud to showcase and share with you. Normally, if you're coming to the Lunch and Learn, I'd serve you lunch because I want you to come and feel like we're just partners in this, and it's just really a nice informal way to communicate. We have what's known as the CURCA celebration. So at the end of every semester, I host a big conference and students present their work. It's just a wonderful day of students being very professional and really excited to share their work with other students and faculty and even community partners. We have what are known as the CURCA Surf Group. And then you'll notice Tom is one of them. This is from 2 summers ago. So these are individuals who received a fellowship to work in the summertime. I'll talk a little bit about that in a bit. And then of course our CURCA ambassadors, which I'll also share with you. So the CURCA celebration, if you're not familiar with it, again, at the end of the fall and the spring semester, this is just really fun, exciting, and a invigorating day where students of all kind of disciplines share their information, share their projects, whether it's classroom embedded or much more, independent research and capstone. So it runs the gamut, excuse me. We have opening ceremonies with students who have original music or poetry. And you'll see a lot of just different kinds of posters. This one, for example, was a classroom embedded poster. And Jonah was really interested in so this particular professor wanted them to look at and focus at Native Americans and Native American literature. And so he was really interested in how they were misrepresented. And this is the work he presented at the CURCA celebration. This is an example of original poetry that was created by an English major, actually sociology and English major. Here's another example of how then we have much more developed, more senior students giving work. This one happens to be on urban planning. And of course, here's another independent research, and this is in the biology department. So I just really kind of want to give you a sense of how diverse our celebration is and how you can plug into it throughout your whole career here at Westfield State. The Lunch and Learn series is something that I started a year ago, and it's been really kind of fun. And again, it's intended to be very, very informal. And this fall series today is just welcoming you, letting you know about where we're located once we open, our resources, and then to let you know if you had questions about how the celebration is going to work this year, since it's going to be virtual, I can answer those questions. On October 6th, if you are able to join us, this will be a really, really good and fun workshop for you about how to use improv and creativity to get through this really interesting time and semester. Then we have how do you use Excel. We have another guest speaker, a faculty member, who will walk you through how do you use Excel to just organize your work and your life. And then October 27th, we'll partner with the Career Center to help you find and look for and prepare for summer internships that pay you. And of course, designing your poster, both Dr. Selsinski and Dr. Acevedo, who are here on this workshop, or actually here today, will run this workshop. And then lastly, of course, the Career Center. They'll talk to you about how do you deal with COVID and your CV during this time. So really, very, very student-centered resources. We want you to succeed, and we want you to know about how you can tap into the university beyond your classroom. Sometimes students give workshops as well. So if you're ever interested, please reach out, and I'm happy to give you that platform. This is just an example of a faculty member who's giving a workshop. Actually, he's giving another one in the spring. And last year we had ambassadors, and see, these are peer mentors that represent CURCA, and they're available for you to also tap into to help guide you through your projects and even find internship opportunities and what have you. We're not running an ambassadorship during COVID because they're the really important aspect of their work is to go into the classroom and do drop-ins so you can meet them, and it's a little difficult right now. And then lastly is the Summer Research Fellowship. This is an opportunity for students to apply for a 10-week intense research opportunity. So what generally happens is students are ready for this level of research and they reach out to a faculty on campus. And between the two of you, you figure out a project that you're interested in and that they are also interested in and can support. And if you apply and if your application gets accepted, as a student, you receive, in the past, you've been able to receive $4,000 for that 10-week, it's a full-time job for you. But it, at the same time, helps to grow your confidence, your skills, your passion, and really, really sets you up well for whether you're going on to future graduate schools, regardless of the discipline, or maybe professional schools. And so you get paid for this, and if need be, we also provide you with housing and a small stipend for, you know, consumables that you might need. So last year, we had, you can see here, we had students from sociology, biology, chemistry, psychology, and history. And this past summer, because we did it virtually. So despite the fact that nobody could be on campus or face-to-face, we were able to get some really creative and interesting projects that we supported. Those include chemistry, which Dr. Acevedo can answer questions about if you're interested. We had projects from geography and sustainability about how to continue to support, you know, sustainability on campus. English, economics, and business, and it just really, again, it was very diverse. This is Jared Peterson, and what I was hoping to do is just show you a short clip of his experience from the summer research. He was one of our, 3 years ago, he was one of 2 students who received it. And I think that this video kind of summarizes what the summer research opportunity is all about. So if you can just give me a minute, I'm going to try and show you this video. Can you see the Westfield homepage? Yes or no? Amanda Selsinski?
No.
I can see.
Or just see Jared Peterson? Okay, let me get out of there then. I'm gonna share a different screen with you. Thank you. Okay, so this is our website actually, and I'm glad that we're looking at this because I want to show you a couple of things. So if you go to Westfield State and then just /CURCA, CURCA, it'll come up automatically as a Center for Undergraduate Research and Creative Activity. And here you can navigate some of the resources that are available to you. So a little bit about the mission of CURCA, what it's about, the staff and the committee members that are involved, upcoming conferences. Anytime there are upcoming conferences that we feel would be really important for you to be engaged in, including our own, we list them. And then the one that you're really going to be interested in is the one for students. And here, it gives you an idea of what's happening. So our Fall CURCA celebration will be virtual. You may be asked to be a part of this through your class, or you might be doing this as an independent research. And then here are some deadlines for how to register. And then, you know, poster, we're not printing posters, but we, you know, at your user end, it shouldn't look different. We'll put it all together virtually for you. Some other information that you should be aware of is if there are any student awards or fellowships, this is where you would find them. It would tell you the deadlines and how to apply. And then of course, any off-campus summer research opportunity, we're having a special workshop just on this. And again, to make you aware of resources that are not only here, but outside, because we are investing in your success, and we want to make sure that you're able to be very competitive with others that for whatever field that you're interested in. But going back, I want to share with you this video on Jared's experience with the surf project. So just give me 1 minute.
My name is Jared Peterson. I'm a senior at Westfield State, and I'm a biology major.
So
I chose to do research really because
sorry, can you all see this video?
Mhm.
Okay, good.
Because of my intro bio courses I took through Westfield, I went up to Dr. Ramsey and I said,
Oops.
hey, I really want to do research, but I'm not sure what I want to do. And he had some ideas for me. Well, my research project focuses on a fish called a sea robin. Now, it's unique because it actually lives on the seafloor using its specialized fin rays. And we're taking a look at the mechanical properties and how the fish uses it to walk on the seafloor.
Working with Jared has been really amazing, actually. We've discovered a lot of interesting features about these fish. More than I thought was there originally. It started off as a very small little project idea, something that I've had in the back of my mind for a while. When Jared walked into my office, I pitched that one to him, and he found it interesting, so we started to go with it.
So one interesting thing that we found when looking at these walking rays of the sea robin is that it is a structure composed entirely of bone and ligaments, and then all the muscles to make it move are at the base. So something like this could be easily applied to prosthetics, where all the muscles would be at the base of the extended limb.
Having your hands dirty, getting into research, doing what biologists do every day, can really give you a perspective that you can't get just from reading a textbook.
So when we're in the lab, we're using techniques such as dissection and CT image analysis to try to find out the mechanical properties and the anatomy of the walking rays of these sea robins.
We've got this brand new research building. Well, it's a brand new science building, the Science and Innovation Center, which gives us accessibility to these brand new research labs, which provide new equipment, a new clean area to work in. It's just a great environment that promotes undergraduate research.
So I've been working on this project for about a year and a half now, and we were going to plan to do some work on it over the summer, but we didn't really have the time or the resources we needed. And I reached out to CURCA, and they helped us with the program to fund us and support us through the summer, and we were able to get a lot of research done. They even funded us to travel to the University of Washington to use their marine labs and get more data for our research. We actually hope to publish this in the Journal of Morphology, so I'll have a publication, and I'll be presenting this research at a national conference in Tampa, Florida this January.
Being involved in CURCA has helped me immensely, especially in the research I'm conducting at this very moment. Having someone that we can bounce ideas off of at that center, like the director, Lamis Yarvanet, I worked with to promote the research I'm currently doing, has been really vital to the growth of the work I've been doing in my department and with my students. It's given me opportunities to expand my research, collaborate with other universities, learn new techniques, travel to different places, to really expand what we're doing and grow as a research department.
Okay. So that's the center in a nutshell. A lot of information, but hopefully it gives you an idea of how we are here to support your passions and your interests. And sometimes students just come up and they're like, I'm really interested in doing research. I just don't know how to start, where to start. And just having a simple conversation, with me or your faculty member to say, hey, I always tell students, if you're really interested in this, find out what class you enjoy, find out what faculty member you enjoy, you think you'd enjoy working with, and just make an appointment and talk to them. And you never know where these experiences go, which is, I think, a really important part of this. It's enjoy the process. Just like the Career Center, we're here to support you as students, and we provide you different ways of doing that. Mm-hmm. Does anybody have any questions that they might want to ask before I give it to Tom there? Okay, well, if you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat. That would be wonderful. Otherwise, Tom, I'm going to hand it over to you.
Yeah.
Because I think it's important for them to hear what it's like for you as a student to be engaged with CURCA and why they should be engaged regardless of their discipline.
Of course. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen for my portion of the presentation. Let me just pull that up. Start. And then go to slideshow. Perfect. All right. So I just want to take a second to introduce myself. I know Lamise had already, but formally again, my name is Tom Howard. I am the current CURCA graduate assistant for this coming year for the fall 20, spring 21. But I was also an undergrad at Westfield. I studied history and political science. And throughout my sort of 4 years at Westfield, I got involved in CURCA in a multitude of different ways, from presenting at the celebration to being an intern one semester, working on social media, as well as becoming a CURCA Surf research student. And I know from the introductions in the beginning of the presentation that we sort of have a spread of seniors and freshmen across the board. So although I will be going through my experiences starting from my first year, going to my senior year, those of you who are seniors, there will be a lot of takeaway to know the resources of the center and also different ways to maybe think about presenting your senior capstones or seeing what resources are out there for that professional development that the CURCA Center provides. Going forward, I want to start off with sort of my beginning of CURCA, which was a freshman year classroom assignment for Native American literature. We already saw sort of a presentation there. It's a very common first year course that has a CURCA presentation requirement. And then sort of what I would think is one of the coolest things that I never thought I would do during my undergraduate years, which is, going on to drive independently to Buffalo, New York in the spring of 2019 to present at a graduate level history presentation alongside, grad students and PhD students. And I was one of only like 3 undergrad history students. So it was really cool. And I received funding from CURCA, but just, something that I would never in a million years think of doing when I was a first year, since all I was really doing as a first year was just focusing on, let's try to get good grades and finish up, my 4 years. But, going through and presenting at CURCA as a classroom assignment, I was really anxious, presenting my first time. I thought I had to have everything memorized. I needed to look like I knew what I was talking about. But just going through and practicing what I was going to say, and being in the celebration environment, having students come and go, listen to my presentation, really made me feel comfortable about learning how to present the research that I taken all semester long to really know the fundamentals on. No one else there knew my research except for me. And then it was my turn to share with them what I had learned. And so this really, I didn't really see myself presenting a lot across the board, but this first experience really opened the gates to, my sophomore year and continuing forward and what I wanted to shape my time at Westfield around. So I wanted to move into sort of my sophomore year, which was, more of getting, looking at opportunities and capitalizing on some of the resources that CURCA offers. So one of the major things that I did this year was learning how to write abstracts and really working on the professionalism of my poster itself. In the first slide, I sort of had a poster that was pictures were kind of everywhere, captions were kind of everywhere. And towards the end, as I became, a junior and senior and started getting comfortable with my presentations, I started really working on flow, organization. That's not really been my forte at all, going into college, in terms of graphic design and in terms of pleasing visuals on a poster. It's been more so my strong suit has been public speaking, as well as learning the flow of the presentation. And that's something that the CURCA Center, as well as different departments that partner with the CURCA Center, really helped me to get professional development on. Going to these poster, we have one of the poster design presentations coming up in our Lunch and Learn series, as well as abstract writing that the Reading and Writing Center provides. These sort of professional development really made me have my scholarly research and have it to a professional collegiate level. And also to sort of capitalizing on some of the opportunities. I never really thought I'd be going to places like UMass to present my research, all the way to, going to have the skills necessary to present in Baltimore, that's the picture on the right, through different organizations across campus. And it really, once that first presentation that I had in the beginning with the classroom assignment turned into like, yeah, like I really want to do this. I want to do this as much as possible. I want to get, as many things, on my resume as possible as well. And a little bit later in the presentation, we'll be going over sort of how one sort of example of research presentation could lead into so many other things. So towards the end, I had some, what I would say CURCA inspired accomplishments. That I never, going back to, I just never realized or never thought I would be doing. And I really have to owe to that first presentation in CURCA for setting the domino effect for my later years down the road at Westfield State. So I received a President's Award for Excellence in Leadership when I was a senior, as well as defended a honors project that I'd worked with, the honors program, over the past year when I was a senior. That was really intensive research, as well as presenting, 2 different independent studies that I had really done alongside my CURCA SURF research. So I was doing 2 different things at once. And I really don't think I would have received that award, right, without my involvement as a research student, as well as my involvement with the honors program, which I wasn't an honors student when I was accepted first at Westfield. It was actually that first course with the CURCA assignment that got me involved and made me apply when I was a sophomore to starting to get involved in that department. But it really just shows that, not only are you making your research and your presentations more professional, you're professionalizing yourself and being able to set you up for a resume that, when you apply to these different opportunities on campus, you have the background necessary to back up, everything that you've learned in class so far. So I wanted to go and just illustrate how, this one presentation really got me invested. Over the years, we already went through different things, but these are just all examples of my presentations that I've done throughout the years. My junior and senior year with the CURCA summer research opportunity, and as well as, some of the other venues that I've been to, just across the Northeast that I never realized that I could really do. And also CURCA was able to fund the transportation funds, to and from these venues. And then I just wanted to go over sort of, the example of my professional development over the years. This is the first poster that I was talking about, where, the words are kind of scattered all around the pictures. I didn't really have great focus on flow. I was more so just concerned about my presentation skills and, understanding and learning, making sure people knew that I knew what I was talking about. But then going through the years, and this is my sophomore year, condensing, going to these professional development workshops, learning how to put that background in the back, learning how to space things, as well as, minimize the words that's on there. This is going towards my, what I did for my summer research surf experience, and really, learning how to set up the text boxes, learning the spacing, as well as the picture indents. But overall, just really great opportunities that I never really realized that I thought I would get invested into. So now I would like to take time for questions, as well as if you are, thinking about, if you're a senior, thinking about venues that you'd like to present your research on. I know it's kind of difficult with COVID right now, getting out there and knowing what's available. Part of my task that I'll be doing this semester is looking into virtual research conferences that seniors can present their work at, or if you're interested in presenting your capstone at CURCA for this celebration or the next celebration, or if you're a first year, just looking to know what opportunities are out there, sort of review what Lamise was talking about in the beginning with the SURF program, with the external research grants, and all the other details that can really help support your Westfield State experience from your 4 years. I'd love to set up a Zoom meeting one-on-one to talk about it, or if you just have, a quick question here or there, my email is listed here and is available on the CURCA website. But thank you so much for, taking time out of your day to, come down and, although we don't have lunch, we did do a lot of learning today. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. And again, anytime you guys have questions, please feel free to ask them. But, you know, again, we have Jennifer, who is from the Career Center, and it would be helpful, you know, Jen, you know, if you have any thoughts to share with the students. I think one of the things that I don't want students to think is that you have to be, no offense, but you have to be an honor student, or you have to be an exceptional student, that I can't do this, I can't see myself doing this. And that's not the case. If you have the passion and the drive, we as a whole university find ways to support it. And you know, that first step is just to acknowledge that this is something you're interested in, and again, not knowing where this is going to lead. So it would be wonderful to hear it from Jennifer or Professor Acevedo or Professor Selsinski, because they've been involved in this from a completely different perspective as well. So I'll leave it to any of you if you want to chime in.
Yeah, I'll just quickly add, thank you, Tom. Great job. You know, you mentioned adding it to your resume, and for the students that are in the presentation today, it's a great resume builder. It's going to show employers that you're that much more dedicated to the field. So that's wonderful. You know, don't wait until senior year, right, Lamise? Because at that point, it's too late. So similar to the Career Center, and, you know, kind of our motto is come early, come often. Don't wait until senior year, because at that point, again, it's too late. So really start taking advantage of these things early on. And yeah, it's just a wonderful opportunity.
And, you know, I thought Tom did a really good job demonstrating how that one course requirement to present at CURCA led to all of these other opportunities to build his CV. And, you know, at the end of the day, future employers and graduate schools and professional schools are interested that you're doing a good job in the class, but they need you to demonstrate that you're a good communicator, that you know how to take on a project with challenges, that, you know, you can think outside the box, you can be creative, you can communicate your work to others. And having those opportunities through CURCA is a great way to demonstrate to yourself that this is the field you want to continue to invest your time into. I don't know if Professor Acevedo or Sosinski want to chime in.
Sure. So things that I think are important are the fact that it's not. So sometimes you might not know what you want to do for research, and you know what? That's okay. If you notice in the video, Jared did not have a clue what he wanted to do for research, but Professor Ramsey had an idea, right? And sometimes that's how it works. But the fact is that it required Jared to ask, right? And so that, I think, is the most important part, is that the student is motivated to do something that is perhaps not required of them, right? And for many of our students, research is not required. However, Jared would later take that research experience that he had and use it to foment his future career, right? And I don't think Jared's career is in fish limbs, right? And so very rarely do we see that the undergraduate work that we did. So for me, it was peaches and plums, right? But I'm not a biologist, right? I ended up being a biophysical chemist, right? And so the research experience is really what ended up cementing where you go. And you can take that experience anywhere. So if you have an idea, that's amazing. That is one of my favorite things, is to listen to the ideas that students have and try to help them achieve that idea. Sometimes it ends up that the ideas that you have are way bigger than what we could do, right? But we can help you with that. But it does take you making that first step and saying, you know what, maybe research could be something that I could do. That was it.
So I'd like to continue with this. If you think about it, as a student, you are graduating with the same degree and virtually the same grades as all the other students around you, and then all the other students at the other programs. Like, how do you make yourself, how do you set yourself apart from everybody? And one way to do that is to get involved in research. And it may be starting out as your freshman year, just taking surveys of other people's research. And then you start getting involved on the data process, maybe with a senior student's project or a graduate student's project. And then, towards your, junior year, you're like, okay, I have an idea. Okay. Or sometimes, if you're involved, then the professor will say to you, okay, that's a good idea. And I have one that might be a little bit easier to do. And, they'll give you an idea, but it's a way to set yourself apart from everyone else when you're all getting the same degree. So.
Yeah. And I hope none of you are kind of intimidated by the word research. Because I think we have this like misconception that it's only for being in the laboratory and biologists and chemists, and that's not the case at all. There is a research aspect in every single discipline, whether you're painting, creating a composition for music, writing, whatever it may be. There's a process, and as everybody on this panel has already said, and I'm hoping that you're hearing it over and over and over again, is the important thing is to demonstrate that you have the skills that others find desirable for their company, their university, whatever it may be. And Professor Selsinski is absolutely right. You need to have ways of setting yourself apart. Professor Acevedo is right. You don't have to come up with a ground-shaking, idea. You just need to tell somebody you're interested in it. And as Jennifer has said, this is a really important way to start your networking and your polishing. And Tom has really demonstrated that well. So please don't be turned off by the word research. It simply refers to a process of growth, in that sense. But does anybody have any questions that they may want to ask? And it does get more difficult as you get to be a senior to have opportunities for these exposures, but there are still opportunities. So if you need to demonstrate that you've presented at a conference, what easier way than to present at this fall virtual conference? We have a lot of people who are willing to help you put it together, whether it's the Reading and Writing Center, CURCA, your faculty, whatever it may be, Tom. And that alone, there's something that you can really be proud of and says something to somebody who's interested in that skill. Can I feel free to chime in with questions, but can I ask the students how you found out about the Lunch and Learn? And, we're hoping that you will join us for future ones as well, that will have more of a kind of hands-on aspect to them.
I heard about this presentation from Professor Wang, and how, like, I guess we're gonna do CURCA at the end of the year or so.
Mm-hmm.
But I actually did CURCA, I think it was my sophomore year or going to my junior year, I'm not sure which one, with Professor Rustapal, because she made us do like a research to present. So I guess it kind of gave me an insight on how to go about it, which was really good. But since I'm a biology major, it doesn't really count because that was just like an EGST class. But it still gave me like an idea of how, like, how to look like, how to dress, how the poster should look like, who is like gonna interact with me and stuff like that. So it was good. But this time it will probably be about biology because that is my major. So hopefully I could find something interesting to, like, research about and whatnot. So hopefully it goes well.
Yeah, don't be afraid to talk to faculty.
Yeah.
Thank you, Beverly.
You're
I
welcome.
found out through my honors discovery class with Professor Sackett Taylor.
Okay, yeah, that's fantastic. And she was involved in as a summer faculty doing a project with a student this year, so she's got a lot of insights too.
I have her for one of my grad classes, actually. She's my professor.
I found out the same way Amanda did from the Honors Discovery Seminar.
Yeah, fantastic.
I just want to take a second, Lamise, you kind of shed some light on a past experience that I had just when you were talking about research and how it doesn't have to be in the laboratory. It could just be expanding on a certain skill that you have. Over when I was doing my CURCA surf research, I was expanding on this skill that I had started to learn in my internship at the Westfield Athenaeum, which was transcription of 20th century English cursive, which is, like a very, not a lot of people have that sort of knowledge in order to read and write in cursive, but, it's, to me, I still have to like work through it really, but on its, when you boil it all down, just reading, and it's not like I'm doing extensive equations. It's just something that is really just looking at words and trying to work through it and, generalizing. But even with that, even something as simple as reading comes with a skill that you can expand upon. So even if you are unsure about, I don't know really how research pertains to me, or I, have to put myself into this whole other mindset of what a scholar does, it's just honestly, looking at sort of what I was doing, in CURCA, and some of the other things I was learning in class, it's just taking that and taking it a little bit of a step further, right? And that's a lot of what the music presentations and the theater presentations are doing, is that they're taking a skill that they were good at maybe coming out of high school into freshman in college, or something that they learned in class, and just wanting to expand upon that a little bit further.
Yeah, thank you. Well, I've really enjoyed getting to meet some of you. Again, I hope that you're able to join us for the next one, which is in 2 weeks. Please feel free to email me if you have questions or any kind of guidance that you might, want. And of course, Tom is also available if you want to email him. And we hope that this was helpful to you, but we want you to know that Westfield provides a lot of student support in many different ways. And this is just another example of how we all work together to, be able to fulfill your passions. So we hope you have a great day.
Thank you.
Thank you for coming.
So much.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Have a great day, everyone.
Thanks for coming, Jen.
See you later.
Bye.
Jen, thank you.
There
Bye.
you go.
Bye-bye. Hey, nice
Hey.
job, Tom.
Thank you. I was gonna ask.
Just give me 1 second.
Yeah. So